March 2008, I buy my first home at the trustee auction. Has a great margin. I go to him, I say, hey, let's not keep it as a rental, let's flip it. He said, fine, just run with it, do whatever you want to do, whatever you feel comfortable. He trusted me, and then I flipped 5 homes in 3 months.
Okay.
I stopped being an accountant. I jumped full-time into flipping homes.
Got it.
I flipped homes for this construction company for about a year. And then after that, I started up my own company where I was doing a bid service at the trustee auctions.
Oh, okay.
Then flipping for myself. I kept them as my client, and then I was able to bring other people on board.
Let's give some people that weren't around in the business, or remind some of those that were in the business at that time, the bidding service. It was crazy down there, right? Like
Just
you had a
madhouse. Yeah.
It was a madhouse one. I was never in that world, but I just knew a lot of the bidders providing, like, how'd that game work? Just like how you got paid and what you did as a service provider.
Yeah, it's a whole process of itself. When someone comes to me and say, hey, I want to flip homes and I'm going to buy my homes through the trustee auction, I'm like, well, let's pump the brakes here for a second. Because they're two separate. Buying a property at the trustee auction is a whole process in itself. Flipping a home is a whole process in itself.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's not try to combine those for our first ones, because that's a lot to learn. Buying a property at the trustee auction, these banks, they put their opening bid on a property that they're about to foreclose on. They just own the note at this point. The trustee auction is where the note becomes the property. It's that transition. The bank puts one price on that note, whether it's their full amount or maybe they're okay taking a little bit of loss. Whatever they come up with that number, that's the opening bid.
And it's never more. They can't take more. Is that right?
Correct.
Okay.
Right. They have to, there's regulations and stuff of how much they can put as their opening bid. But they can put all their late fees in there and it adds all up. Sure. But most of the time, so there's an opening bid on the property. If anybody bids $1 more, then they are taking over that property.
Okay.
Yep. And so everyone has the same list. It's all public information. Everyone down there's bidding on the same properties. Probably 80% of them, the price is too high, and they just let those revert back to the bank, and then the bank gets that as a REO, bank-owned property.
Okay.
But say that 20% or so, those are the ones that are way undervalued, and those are the ones that we all bid on.
It's funny because when I first moved here to Arizona, it was 2010. So the auction steps were still thriving and still going, right? And I was just getting started in real estate. And everybody said, well, you need to go where the action was. And I went straight to the auction house, and it was crazy. And I think that's where I saw you at. Because when you walked in, I was like, he looks familiar. So, but that's how I built up my business getting started, was just going down there, networking with the people that were down there. So, man, that's a great start.